Green 1, this is Blue Hawk. Target in sight. Ready to light up the bastards on your mark. Evelyn's lips curled into a grim smile. Hold tight, Hawk. We hit 'em hard. We hit 'em fast. No mercy for these alien pricks. The shattered skyline of New York City loomed against a night sky lit by the eerie glow of alien patrols. Smoke and dust mingled with the acrid scent of destruction. The once bustling metropolis was now a war-torn wasteland under the oppressive grip of the Drelith. General Entor surveyed the city from his command post in the heart of Manhattan, his reptilian eyes scanning the ruins with cold satisfaction. He dismissed the Galactic Council's warnings as he strategized the complete subjugation of Earth. "Pathetic humans," he muttered, his voice a guttural growl. They were warned. Beneath the city, in the labyrinthine tunnels of the subway, Evelyn Greene crouched with her team, her face illuminated by the flickering light of a holographic map. Her eyes, sharp and unyielding, assessed their next target. "All right, listen up," she whispered, her voice commanding yet calm. "We hit fast. We hit hard. No mistakes. We need those supplies if we're going to keep this resistance alive." Her team nodded, their faces a mixture of determination and fear. Evelyn, a former military officer, had become the reluctant leader of the resistance. Her strategic brilliance and unyielding resolve had kept them fighting, but the weight of leadership was a heavy burden. As they moved through the tunnels, the silence was broken only by the distant sounds of alien machinery and the occasional rumble of a collapsing building above. Evelyn's mind flashed back to the early days of the invasion, days of chaos and loss, when the Drelith had descended without warning, obliterating cities and breaking humanity's spirit. "Stay focused," she reminded herself, shaking off the memories. They reached the depot, and Evelyn signaled for her team to take their positions. She took a deep breath, steadying her nerves. "On my mark," she said, her voice barely a whisper. Suddenly, the night exploded with the sound of gunfire and the harsh screech of Drelith alarms. Evelyn led the charge, her movements swift and precise. Her team followed, a well-oiled machine honed by months of guerrilla warfare. They moved through the depot, planting explosives and gathering vital supplies. "Evelyn, we've got company," hissed Marcus, her second-in-command, as alien soldiers stormed in. "Hold them off," Evelyn shouted, firing her weapon with deadly accuracy. The clash was brutal and chaotic, the air filled with the acrid stench of plasma fire and the cries of the wounded. Despite the odds, Evelyn's team fought with a ferocity born of desperation. As the last of the explosives were set, Evelyn called out, "Fall back!" Now, they retreated, the depot erupting in a series of deafening explosions. The night sky lit up with flames, and Evelyn allowed herself a brief moment of satisfaction. Another victory, however small, in a seemingly endless war. Rax marched alongside his squad through the desolate streets of New York City. The oppressive silence was punctuated by the occasional crackle of static from his communicator. The once vibrant city was now a graveyard of twisted metal and broken dreams, and Rax felt a growing unease gnawing at his conscience. "Keep your eyes sharp," barked Lieutenant Vorn, his voice grating through the helmet speakers. "No mercy for these human scum." Rax clenched his jaw, his mind replaying the brutal scenes he had witnessed since the invasion. The cries of terrified civilians, the ruthless efficiency of his fellow Drelith soldiers, each memory weighed heavily on him. As they turned a corner, the squad came upon a small group of humans huddled in the remains of a collapsed building. Among them, a child clung to her mother, eyes wide with fear. "Advance!" Vorn commanded, raising his weapon. Rax's heart pounded. "Wait!" he shouted, stepping forward. "They're unarmed." Vorn glared at him, his eyes narrowing to slits. "And what? You feel sorry for them? Pathetic." Rax's hesitation was palpable. "They're civilians. There's no honor in this." "Honor?" Vorn sneered. "You think we came here for honor? We're here to conquer." Before Rax could react, Vorn fired, the blast echoing through the empty streets. The mother fell, the child's scream piercing the air. Rage and disgust surged within Rax, but he was powerless to stop it. He watched as the rest of the squad followed Vorn's lead, mowing down the helpless humans without a second thought. Later, as the squad regrouped at their base, Rax couldn't shake the images from his mind. He retreated to a secluded corner, trying to make sense of his turmoil. "What's happening to me?" he muttered, running a hand over his face. "You're thinking too much," a voice said behind him. Rax turned to see Siren, an older cadet, leaning against the wall. "It's dangerous to think like that. You'll get yourself killed." "I can't just follow orders blindly," Rax replied, his voice tense. "We're supposed to be better than this." Siren shrugged. "Better? We're soldiers, Rax. We do what we're told." The conversation was interrupted by the sound of an explosion in the distance. Rax's communicator crackled to life. "All units, report to Sector 7. Resistance activity detected. Engage and eliminate." Rax's pulse quickened. Sector 7 was close to where he had seen the Resistance fighters earlier. He fell in line with the squad, but his thoughts were elsewhere. As they approached the area, he saw the remnants of an armory, its doors blown open. Inside, Evelyn Greene and her team were gathering supplies. "Move in," Vorn ordered, but Rax hesitated. In that moment, Evelyn's eyes locked with his. Recognition flickered in her gaze, and she hesitated too. Rax's breath caught. "Get out of here," he whispered, barely audible over the din. Evelyn seemed to understand, and with a nod, she signaled her team to retreat. Evelyn Greene's boots splashed through the grimy water of the subway tunnels as she led her team back to their makeshift headquarters. The stench of mold and decay filled the air, but it was safer underground, away from the prying eyes of the Drelith. They had just returned from a successful raid, their backpacks laden with stolen alien tech and supplies. "Good haul today," Marcus said, dropping his pack with a thud. "We'll be able to keep our comms running for weeks with this stuff." Evelyn nodded, though her mind was elsewhere. The encounter with Rax had been unsettling. "We've got momentum, but we can't get cocky. They'll be looking for us now more than ever." As her team dispersed to sort through the spoils, Evelyn pulled Marcus aside. "We need to tighten our security. Double the patrols and change the access codes. I don't want any surprises." "Got it, boss," Marcus replied, his expression serious. "You think that cadet will be a problem?" Evelyn sighed, running a hand through her tangled hair. "I don't know. He seemed different, like he didn't want to be there." "Different or not, he's still the enemy," Marcus said, a hard edge to his voice. "We can't afford to trust anyone." Evelyn knew he was right, but she couldn't shake the feeling that Rax was struggling with his own demons. "Just keep an eye out," she said, ending the conversation. Meanwhile, Rax was back at the Drelith base, grappling with his conflicted feelings. The sight of the dead child haunted him, and his hesitation had not gone unnoticed. Vorn's warning echoed in his mind. As he passed through the dimly lit corridors, he overheard two soldiers talking about the Resistance's latest success. "They're getting bolder," one of them said. "I heard they hit a supply depot and an armory in one night." "Won't matter," the other replied dismissively. "General Entor's got a plan to wipe them out for good." Rax's heart sank. He knew what that meant, an all-out assault that would result in countless civilian casualties. He had to do something. He couldn't stand by and watch innocent people die. His thoughts turned to Evelyn, the fierce leader who had spared his life. Perhaps she could help him find a way to stop the bloodshed. That night, as the base settled into an uneasy silence, Rax made his move. Slipping out of his quarters, he navigated the shadows, avoiding patrols and security cameras. His pulse raced as he approached the communication room. If he could send a message to the Resistance, they might have a chance. He hacked into the system, his hands shaking. "Evelyn Greene," he whispered, hoping she was monitoring the frequency he had intercepted earlier. "This is Rax. I have information. General Entor plans a major strike. We need to talk." There was a tense pause, then a crackle of static. "Rax, this is Evelyn. You better not be screwing with me." "I'm not," Rax replied urgently. "I can help you, but you have to trust me." "Meet me at the old train yard, midnight," she said. "And come alone. If this is a trap, you're dead." Rax exhaled, relief and fear mixing in his chest. He had crossed a line, and there was no going back. He only hoped he was making the right choice. As the clock ticked towards midnight, Evelyn readied herself for the meeting. She strapped on her gear, steeling herself for whatever came next. Marcus, you're in charge until I get back. If I don't return, you know what to do. Be careful, Evelyn, Marcus said, gripping her shoulder. We can't lose you. Evelyn gave a tight nod and slipped into the night, her mind focused on the task ahead. She had to trust her instincts, even if it meant taking a dangerous gamble. The fate of the resistance and perhaps humanity itself hung in the balance. The old train yard was a desolate place, the remnants of rusted train cars and overgrown tracks, a stark reminder of a world before the invasion. Evelyn moved through the shadows, her senses heightened. She spotted Rax standing by an abandoned locomotive, his posture tense. You came alone? She asked, her voice low. Yes, Rax replied, his eyes flickering with uncertainty. I told you, I want to help. Evelyn studied him for a moment, then nodded. All right, talk. General Entor plans to launch a full-scale assault on the resistance. It's going to be brutal. Civilians will get caught in the crossfire. Evelyn's jaw tightened. How soon? Within the next 48 hours. He's mobilizing troops as we speak. Evelyn cursed under her breath. We need to move our people. But we can't do it alone. We need allies, and fast. Rax stepped closer, his voice earnest. I can get you the details. Positions, troop movements, everything. But you have to trust me. Evelyn's eyes bored into his, searching for any sign of deceit. Finally, she nodded. Fine, but if you betray us, I will kill you myself. The old train yard was a ghostly place, the remnants of a bygone era silhouetted against the moonlit sky. Evelyn Greene moved silently among the rusted carcasses of abandoned trains, her senses on high alert. Every shadow seemed to shift, every distant sound a potential threat. She tightened her grip on her pistol, ready for anything. Evelyn, a voice called out softly. She turned to see Rax emerge from the darkness, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. Don't move, she ordered, her weapon trained on him. Why the hell should I trust you? Rax's eyes were filled with desperation. Because I want to help. General Entor is planning a major strike that will wipe out entire human settlements. I can't be a part of that. Evelyn studied him for a moment, her finger hovering over the trigger. She saw the sincerity in his eyes, the conflict that mirrored her own. Lowering her gun slightly, she asked, Why the change of heart? Rax took a deep breath. I've seen too much. The way we treat your people, it's wrong. I thought we were supposed to be better than this. But we're just invaders, conquerors. I can't stand by and let innocent people die. Evelyn's mind raced. This could be the break they needed, or it could be a trap. She decided to take a chance. All right, talk. What's Entor's plan? Rax glanced around nervously before stepping closer. He's coordinating a full-scale assault on the remaining resistance strongholds. It's set for dawn, 3 days from now. He'll hit you with everything. He's got troops, airstrikes, everything. Damn it, Evelyn muttered, rubbing her temples. We're not ready for that kind of attack. Rax's voice was urgent. You have to move your people. Now, and if you can hit his command center, you might disrupt the entire operation. Evelyn nodded, formulating a plan. We'll need detailed intel blueprints, security protocols, troop movements. Can you get us that? I can try, Rax said, determination in his voice. But I'll need to be careful. If they suspect me, then you're dead, Evelyn finished. She lowered her gun completely. All right, you're in. But if you double-cross us, I'll kill you myself. Got it? Got it, Rax said, relief flooding his face. I won't let you down. They hurried back to the tunnels, where Marcus awaited with a skeptical glare. You sure about this, Evelyn? No, she admitted. But we don't have a choice. Rax, what else can you tell us? Rax detailed everything he knew about the Drelith defenses, sketching maps and outlining the weaknesses he had observed. The resistance leaders gathered around, absorbing the information. We hit them where it hurts, Evelyn said, her voice steely. Take out Entor's command center, throw their plans into chaos. Marcus, start the evacuation protocols. Get everyone ready to move. As the team dispersed to carry out their orders, Rax lingered. "Thank you, Evelyn," he said quietly, "for giving me a chance." "Don't thank me yet," she replied, eyes hard. "We still have a long way to go." Dawn broke with a grim, red-tinged sky over New York City, casting long shadows over the decimated landscape. Evelyn Greene stood with her resistance fighters, their faces set with determination and fear. Today, they would either cripple the Drelith occupation or be annihilated. "Remember the plan," Evelyn said, her voice steady. "We hit them fast and hard. Rax's intel gives us a chance to turn the tide. No room for mistakes." Rax, standing beside her, nodded. "Their defenses are strong, but not invincible. We have to take out the command center first." Marcus, checking his weapon, glanced at Evelyn. "We're ready when you are, boss." Evelyn took a deep breath. "Let's move out." The resistance split into 3 groups, each tasked with a critical part of the assault. Evelyn's team, including Rax, would infiltrate the command center. As they approached the heavily guarded perimeter, the tension was palpable. "Hold," Evelyn whispered, raising a hand. Alien sentries patrolled the area, their movements methodical and precise. "Rax, you're up." Rax hacked into the security system, causing a temporary blackout. "Now!" he hissed, and the team slipped through the breach. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of alien machinery and ozone. Evelyn led them through the labyrinthine corridors, every step fraught with danger. They encountered a patrol, and a brief, brutal skirmish ensued. Plasma fire lit up the narrow hallway, the noise deafening. "Keep moving," Evelyn shouted as the last of the sentries fell. They reached the control room's entrance, but the door was sealed. "Stand back," Rex said, setting charges. The explosion was controlled but powerful, blowing the door off its hinges. They stormed inside, weapons ready. General Entor stood at the command console, flanked by elite guards. His eyes narrowed as he saw Rax. "Traitor," he spat. "You're finished, Entor," Evelyn said, stepping forward. "Call off the attack." Entor sneered. "You think you can stop me? You're nothing but insects." Evelyn fired, and chaos erupted. The room became a battleground, filled with smoke and shouts. Rax took out the guards with precise shots, while Evelyn faced Entor in a deadly duel. The general was strong, but Evelyn's resolve was stronger. "You underestimate us," she growled, dodging a powerful strike. With a swift, decisive move, she plunged her blade into Entor's side. He gasped, falling to his knees. "It's over," she said, watching the life drain from his eyes. With Entor dead, Rax accessed the command console, disabling the Drelith attack plans. "The assault is cancelled," he announced. "We did it." Outside, the other resistance groups launched their assaults, exploiting the confusion. Alien ships exploded in the sky, and ground forces crumbled under the coordinated human attack. The tide was turning. As the sun set, the resistance regrouped. The Drelith were in full retreat, their command structure in disarray. The city, though battered and scarred, still stood. Evelyn and Rax emerged from the command center, greeted by cheers from their comrades. "We did it," Marcus said, clapping Evelyn on the back. "You led us to victory." Evelyn looked at the faces around her, weary but triumphant. "This is just the beginning," she said. "We've shown them we won't be conquered. Now we rebuild, and we prepare for whatever comes next." She turned to Rax, who had proven himself beyond doubt. "You've earned your place with us," she said. "Thank you." Rax smiled, relief and gratitude in his eyes. "I'm honored. Together, we'll make sure they never forget this day." The victory was bittersweet, marked by loss and sacrifice, but it was a victory nonetheless. As night fell, the survivors lit fires and shared stories of bravery and defiance. Evelyn stood at the edge of the camp, looking out at the city she had fought so hard to save. "We're still here," she whispered to herself. "And we're not going anywhere."